Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Alex
and
Ruben
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you not only Friday but the whole team
Absolutely. Back in the studio.
back in the studio.
back in the one spot.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I think we're here for at least today.
Yes. More to come on that later.
Yes, and yes, 2B3. We're very glad we don't run bus service either.
I was just saying, if we had BN Japan, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
They're very, very precise.
You wouldn't believe I used to work for an airline, would you?
Stream's delayed.
Not Japanese airlines though.
I can tell you a trick with the airlines if you like. I wonder if I can say this. What the heck?
never
You know
stopped
how
us.
all the on-time departure stats.
Yes.
The pilots worked out very quickly that to depart on time, all you had to do was release the handbrake. You didn't actually have to depart the gate. And because you're hooked up to the tug, you can't go anywhere anyway. So everyone on time releases their handbrake.
You know what? I'm not sure what's spinning me out more, that factoid or that we're already in aviation talk right at the
30
beginning
seconds
of Bullion
in.
Now. Like, I don't know.
Oh, dear.
But it is good to be back.
It is good to be back. I tell you what, running a live stream from the front of the car in the middle of, well, I was going to say middle of nowhere. Bairnsdale's not the middle of nowhere, but from in Bairnsdale.
Off centre of nowhere.
Twisted around like this so I could actually fit the laptop in the car.
Yeah.
And, oh, mate, I had screens everywhere. Oh, mate, it was on for young and old.
Someone commented on that stream, and I thought that as well. Like when another car's moving, and it's like, are you rolling or? Yeah.
Excuse me.
Good
Yeah.
times.
But the reviews are positive when you do streams like that, Michael. There was a few in there this time that I think realised that Alex and I, might get our feelings hurt if they said, no, this is the only way we want to do it moving forward. But no, people like it when you just sit there a little bit, haphazardly streaming from your phone, and you get down to it. You don't. Well, I don't know. Did you have any aviation talk in the? Or did you just hit straight into the
There were a
question?
few
I-
questions. There were
I
a few
talked
questions.
solid for an hour and a half with barely taking a breath.
And just testament to how
B.
busy.
Giblet, you should have.
What?
Sorry, mate.
No, just as testimony to how busy was that Friday, because you were running it from out of town, and I thought, you know what, in between all the serving, I'm going to have that like on silent, just watch the live stream and maybe like listen in a bit, and then or at least answer the questions. I was only able to log in. It was exactly 3 minutes after you finished the stream.
Oh, really?
It was just it was just bananas. So yeah.
Did we actually put this on live in the shop?
No, I thought the shop would.
No, come on.
Okay, I didn't really think the shop
The,
would.
the boys are great, but they're not the IT team, I can tell you that much. Yeah, that's all right. We should do that next week.
Yep.
That was something you said to me today. We'll have the stream playing in the shop for anyone that's around the shop at stream time. Although it's sponsored by Friday, you should be kicking back at home. I don't know, or watching it sneakily at work or something. I think we have a few people watching from all over the place.
It's I tell you what, the shop was busy.
Yeah, we had Michael serving as well. That was the full,
Yes, the
all
shop's
hands on deck.
the shop's crazy and things are getting out of hand.
Yeah.
When somebody thinks it's a good idea to put Michael on the front counter,
Yeah.
because I just usually cause more problems than I solve. So they must have been desperate.
Yeah, it only eased off a little bit just after 2 o'clock. That's why I was here at, what was it, 2:15. Then I went out again for a coffee, but yeah, I was here at 2:15. So.
Well, they were starting to fill up again when I came across at 2:27. So,
Yeah, but it has been an absolutely... Actually, since we came back from Perth, it's been... The brakes were off.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been absolutely hectic in both buying and selling. There was a lot of both, and things are just really flying out. It was even we were talking this morning about not sure if it's going to be busy or not when the spot price drops, but it has been very consistent.
Buybacks have slowed up though, which I actually think is a good thing. It always stresses me out when people wait for the price to go down and then start selling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, we don't buy high, sell low. We do the reverse.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad to see that the buybacks have slowed down a little bit. So it's good. And it makes my job easier because I'm not scratching for cash flow every afternoon,
Yeah.
wondering how we're going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting time.
But in that time with the buybacks, they've been coming in and going out. Coming in and going out. So, again, when did we come back from Perth? That was that wasn't this week. Well, that was
the one
last
before.
No, it was last week.
Again, it's been like a blur. And the first few that we were getting quite a few buybacks coming through, and I'm like, just thinking, are we going to have this for a while, or like, is it keep going to go like in this direction? But it just sells, straight away as well. So that's been interesting to see.
It's funny as the guy who has to find the cash. When I'll sit in the back room or whatever I'm doing, and there'll be a whole like bag of gold or a several kilo bars or something come in, and I'll sit there thinking, I don't know how we pay for this afternoon. Yeah. Like, what are we going to do? And then about an hour later, somebody's going, where's all those bars gone?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why I stress every time, because they go out faster than they come in. The number of people I had in the period that I was serving this morning, the number of people I had that said, what have you got in buybacks? And I had to say, nothing. It was crazy. And it's only because you snuck that one aside, the 100 grammer that lady wanted. Because I'm going, look, I haven't seen one for a couple of... Oh, no.
She's like, no. One for me. I'm already waiting for Alex. You already gave me the old wink. Yeah, this one. So, but it's literally... It came in, just made sure, and I ran it by ads just to make sure, you can go out. And, so it didn't even cool down from the buyback sale. And then it was sold already. She was just waiting to buy it.
But even now, too, just before we went to Perth, so we're talking 2 weeks ago. Ads and I were having a conversation of what on earth do we do with all these buyback kilo silver bars? Like there were so many in the pile, they were spilling on the floor and all over the place. Like, it's not that we're getting worried because we know we sell them, but you kind of go, well, far out. We've got so many of them. How long is it going to take to churn through them? By the time we came, a couple of days after we came back from Perth, that box has been empty, and it's not been it's never had more than half a dozen in it since.
I was saying that to I think the most that I counted one day, very briefly on that one day, was 8.
Yeah.
The lowest that I've seen in the 2 weeks here, mind you, I've been in and out of the shop, mainly in the shop, but in and out, was 1. And I was saying to a few customers that in my 2.5 years working at BN, I have never seen it that low. But they're coming in. But they're coming, but they're going out.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks there, they came in and didn't go out like the kilo bars, and we, like I said, they were just everywhere. And then all of a sudden, they're gone. And if anyone wants to sell back kilo silver bars, we are in the market for them, because we just don't have any.
Yeah, Leonard's saying, should I call up before I come in to confirm there's 12 kilo bars for me to come pick up? I don't think there is.
Second?
Right at this second, there was 1 or 2, I think, when I last checked.
If you've bought them off the web, because we put, I can't remember how many, we put some aside for the web, so they will be, like if you've ordered off the web, they will be there. But if you're just rolling in without warning, I hate to break it to you, but right at this second, none.
And please be aware that if you see them now on the website, because we have to juggle between the 2 sites, so it might be available on the website, but that's stored elsewhere. So if you see it on the web waiting in line, it doesn't necessarily mean they're in the CBD.
Yeah. It half makes me smile and half makes me sad when somebody says, I was sitting in the waiting room there waiting to be served, and I've just bought these off the web, and I'll think, well, I'm glad you're using the web, that's great, but they're not here. I can't supply them straight away. Yeah. So, all good.
I think one of the other things that surprised me about the buybacks this time around after this price increase is I normally see, after a big rush up of this, a lot of higher premium items come back through, because it's eaten up a lot of the premium that people might have paid for it, many years ago. And so after it's run up, it's like, oh, well, it's worth getting rid of my proof this or my slightly lower mintage that, because it's, the spot price has eaten up that premium. But this time around, I've seen very, very few coins coming back through of that nature at all, but just coins in general. Lots of bars and things like that. So it's that, I think that surprised me about this most recent run and go out of buybacks.
I think because we've seen this higher price for a number of months now, like I know we only broke 5,500 Australian fairly recently, and it's just dropped back through it again, more because of the strength of the dollar than anything else. But I think this time, I think it's been up, kind of that $4,500, $5,500 mark for, I don't know, I'd have to look at the stats, several months now. I think it's shaken a lot of that stuff already out of the system. I think a lot of people have gotten rid of, what do they call it in crypto, diamond hands? I think a lot of the non-diamond hands have been shaken out, and a lot of the people that now hold are holding. They're not in a hurry to. It's not that we won't see pushes on buybacks and that sort of stuff again, but I think a lot of that stuff that people bought in the 90s or 2000s or into the teens, that they paid that extra money for a proof coin, I think they've basically liquidated now, and I don't think there is as many out there holding that sort of stuff as there was even a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but I have noticed, like Rubes is saying, with the drought with coins, particularly with gold. I mean, we're still getting gold coins in various sizes, but not to the amounts that we used to get. And certainly we're getting a lot more bars, gold bars, especially the 1 ounce cast bars, as opposed to the coins. Yeah. So if you're wondering why there's not many listings on coins on the web, that's why we're just in the buybacks. We just haven't been getting so many in. And once we put them up, they generally disappear.
Oh,
especially the
really
fractionals.
Quick. Yeah, really quick.
Yeah. 1/10, I think, are the most notorious for the quickest. Yeah.
We also, I think we're kind of a little bit past it now that we've had the lunar launch. But we're also in a bit of that, as you were kind of saying, drought period as well on the new front of coins as well, because we're in the swap over from some of the 2025 stock to the 2026 as that moves over for the next few months. So it's kind of always an interesting time of year, but I think this time combined with the price, it's made it a little bit more crazy. And then in a month or so we've got Diwali kicking off as well, which is also crazy in its own right. So
we're already doing our stretches and buckling
get ready
up,
for it.
Prayers, loading up on that.
Diwali's great. I love that time of year. It's a great celebration, a lot of fun, but it does make us super busy. And it also frequently kicks the price of gold up a bit. If you look traditionally around that October time when Diwali's on, you quite often see the gold price kick up because of the huge demand, not just of the Australian Indian community, but obviously the Indian community around the world. It can really cause that kick. And then we roll into the wedding season as well, early in the new year and Lunar New Year. So I'm not saying it happens every single year or anything along those sort of things, but it certainly does kick up kind of this latter part of the year because of those major celebrations.
I was going to say it felt like lunar launch this year had that effect. As soon as the lunar launch price jumped a bit, it's like, hang on a minute, come on.
Well, no, one thing that jumped up 20%, gold, chocolate bars. Yeah.
Yeah, so over in Perth, geez, they were quick on that one, weren't they?
Yeah. Although I have noticed with what people are saying with the cocoa, the chocolate beans, and that going up, a lot of chocolates.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sad story with the cocoa beans if you do a bit of research.
Yeah.
The disease that's hitting them and the communities that are being affected in some of our poorer areas around the world.
That's why I really encourage you, if you have young children, to get them to stack chocolates and then you can dip into their reserves. That's what I do.
Knackers, yes, we do still have some of those buyback 1 ounce painted bars hanging around in the shop.
There's not many left though. They're trickling out the door.
The 1 ounce or the 1 kilos?
The 1 ounce, the
1 ounce,
the hand painted.
They have been trickling out, but we've got a few left. Yeah,
I don't think they're hand painted. Those ones, I don't know.
I've seen some of them. They are definitely hand painted.
Some of them definitely are, and some of them definitely aren't. Yeah. Or they're done to such a quality that you can't tell. Yeah.
One from Gatsby there. Hey guys, based on your comments last week about the number of ounces of gold you would need to buy from the US Mint, does this mean you will not be getting any gold buffaloes?
No, we'll be getting some. We may have to source them from a secondary source, but we'll absolutely be getting some until we can, as I hinted at last week, we're in negotiation with the US Mint.
I'm not sure if this is if we normally get them around this time of year or not, and that's why people have been asking, but I've had 3 or 4 people this week ask about getting in American gold eagles as well, and some silver ones. So I'm not sure. I know we enter into the GST discussion with the gold ones, and so I've had to tell a few people about that. But even just the regular silver ones, I've had a few people asking about as well.
And I've had requests as well for gold. Now the other thing is, I know the 1 ounce gets it gets up there in price when you add the GST especially. But I'm wondering maybe if people are interested in smaller fractional I don't know if they make 1/10 or is it quarter?
No, I don't think they go down
do
to a
quarter.
tenth.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Look, eagles we can get in. The silver ones, to be honest, I put the brake on the silver ones. Ads wanted to order some a little while ago, but we're rolling again. It's that drought period that Ruben was talking about. We're about to roll into the 2026 eagle, so I was a bit on the back foot about ordering some 25s in rather than waiting for the 26s, which will be in very soon. So you should see the silver ones coming back online very, very soon. I actually thought we did have a few left. I didn't think we'd sold out yet. Am I wrong?
The
Eagle, the 2025 Eagle in silver.
In silver, I couldn't find any here. Maybe we've got some on the site, but
Yeah,
in the
okay.
shop we're
I
out.
have to have a bit of a hunt for them, but yeah, we'll be getting the 2026s in the very near future. In silver, the gold is a separate issue, as Alex and Ruben have kind of mentioned. The GST is a bit of an issue for Australians because, you know, particularly now with spot price up as high as it is. I know it's just dropped below, but let's assume at $5,500, $5,500, you're having to add 55. You're having to add 550.
Maths on a Friday.
Yeah,
it's just I'm struggling.
that's more of the hot chocolate one.
You're having to add $550 to an ounce, which is a decent slab of money. Let's be honest. Over and above what you normally pay for a 1 ounce coin.
Well,
So
you're adding another 10 ounces of gold.
Yeah, that's effectively
Essentially,
it.
I mean, that's how I look at it. Yeah.
Matt's correcting me there. They do make the 1/10 gold eagle, and I thought they did as
wow.
soon as I'd said it.
Okay, if they no, I've just never actually seen a 1/10 gold eagle, and I mean, I wouldn't mind adding some of those to the stack, but you know, 10% on that would be a lot easier to
look
to
on
pay
it.
for than say for an ounce, a full ounce.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's popular because I know people asking for the 1 ounces, but
So it's a bit, it's one of those things. We had this very discussion with the US Mint about, you know, the troubles that we have as an Australian stacker with their eagles. So we're still trying to work that one out. We'll probably bring some gold ones in, but it will be a small amount, purely because from a cost perspective on time of staff, because every time somebody asks about them, we have to go through the whole conversation of the GST and why it incurs it. So from that perspective, I tend not to stock the gold eagles very much.
There's some questions there, Michael, from weeks gone by. Dat Dog wants to know what's happening with the Platinum Lunar Horse. We have not released our allocation of them.
No, we haven't released the allocation because the allocation's nowhere near big enough. We will release the allocation very soon. It was meant to be done by 2:29 today before we came on live stream, but we couldn't manage to do the filming. So what we've actually done is isolated them to the side. A chunk of them will go for an EOI, and a chunk of them will go, I suppose, in theory, for a second EOI, but it's for people who have specifically bought an ounce of platinum in our unallocated program to convert into the horse. So effectively, if you've held an ounce of platinum in your unallocated, you can apply, like at the launch date, you can apply for one of those ones if you want. And depending on how many we get from that side of it, we will, hopefully we can fill everyone, because I like to encourage people to do that with the unallocated program, because it was the original reason I set it up, was so people could, you know, look at the spot price today and go, actually, I want to buy, you know, the next release of that lunar or whatever it is, but I like today's spot price, so I'd like to lock it in today, or I'd like to, you know, buy 1/10 of an ounce or a couple of grams every week or so to build up, so I've got the ounce for when they release the, you know, whatever I'm hunting for. So if we can, we're going to reserve some, and hopefully enough, but we'll reserve a chunk of them for people that have had unallocated platinum at release date.
Did you leak something last week about a chocolate bar
Hope not.
promo?
Oh, I think I did mention the fact that there might have some of them
Sorry,
may have made it back to Victoria.
Sorry, did you hear yourself ask that?
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Are we doing any? We're not announcing anything on that at this stage?
I've got to be honest, I don't know about you two, but I haven't had time this week to try and organise.
Definitely not.
So, as I said last
It was
week,
more just to answer the question.
Perth Mint have been incredibly generous in A, trusting, but B, donating a chunk of a chunk of chocolate
Gold boxed.
to us to offer to the Bullion Now family as a promo. And there was at least one bar. I'm sure there was at least one bar.
I'm taking one for every week we don't do it.
Look, I feel very honoured that Michael trusts me around all the cash and the gold and that, but for him to trust me with the holding on to the chocolate bars, that's on another level. So I just want to get this done and sorted ASAP because I don't want to be the holder of that for too long.
Yes. Well, there's no point leaving it to me because it would have been gone by now. I love that stuff. Yeah. So, yes, it was allocated to Alex to
I was being very careful and knocking other people's luggage bags out on the top, making sure it doesn't get squashed. So.
Yeah. So we will do a promo. I'm pushing for next week, but let's see what next week looks like.
I'm going to fling this one to you, Michael, because I'm not sure what answer we can give on that besides just it's still coming, potentially. To JJ says, did BN have a chance to ask Perth Mint when the mintage numbers would be updated?
I did. I asked twice, and I got the same answer.
I was a witness to that. Yeah.
It was a little bit like me talking about trying to organise the EOI for the Platinum and the
Pakenham opening
promo or Pakenham opening. It's like, yeah, when we can allocate the staff time to get there, we will get there. Until that point, our priority is producing high quality gold and silver and platinum in bars and coins. Our second priority, or probably third priority, is to actually get those numbers up on the website. So stand by. We will get them there. We just don't know when.
For you, Alex, I figured we'd talk about some photos and stuff you sent me today. You went exploring. I don't know if was it this week you went off and looked at some Viking gold?
Yes, that was on Sunday. Did a bit of trip into the city at the old exhibition centre, and they had some Viking treasures.
The Galloway Hoard.
Yep. And it absolutely blew my mind. So I sent a few photos of them to Rubes. But it just shows me the beauty and intricacy of precious metals and the absolute timelessness of them, because these are over 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
And as I was speaking to one of the ladies there, working there, and we both agreed, like it's hard to find that great detail and that beauty these days. And they did this by hand, like centuries ago.
Yeah.
And it's just as good today as it was back then.
How old is this stuff? 1,000 years?
I think this one was over 1,000 years old.
900 AD, I think I saw when I was looking at it.
So we're talking 1,000, 1,100 years ago sort of thing. And it just shows this is the important stuff. This is the valuable stuff to them. This is what's been preserved and put aside and bartered for and traded for and pillaged for at the end of the day. And 1,100 years later, we're saying, is this valuable?
Yeah. And one of those, I think they had the bracelet, the really shiny silver bracelet on the top right of the screen. What fascinates me is
I get you to still talk into the mic?
Yeah, how that they did DNA testing and they found that came from Islamic coins from the Middle East, and then it was remelted and created into this Viking bracelet, which
they would have pillaged their way across to get.
And it's, just that little factoid alone just blew my mind. Like that they're going into this much detail and depth and have this level of history to it. And as they said in the guide in the tour, it just changed a lot of the thoughts around the Vikings and their journeys and what they had and in the areas, and it's just incredible. And I encourage anyone that's in Melbourne to go and have a look at that. Yeah.
I wonder, it's impossible to know, but I wonder what that would be worth in that era compared to what it is worth, now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there was another interesting question. Someone asked me what those mintage numbers on those were. I have no idea. Actually, I don't know if it was for that or something else, but it just made me laugh because we're talking about the Viking treasure. So if you're asking for that, I have no idea.
Probably published them faster than Perth Mint.
Come on, mate.
So if you're watching, Neil, that's Ruben at bullionnow.com.au.
There was an interesting comment made before we properly kicked off on the stream by James, and I thought it was something that I think a few people, even myself, I'm kind of thinking about with our stacks. It says, "Well, I cashed in my stack in order to purchase a house.
Hey.
Now it's difficult to get back on the stacking ladder due to the price. It's getting difficult for us peasants these days." And so that's it. It's very nice, very handy to have the stack there to pay off these kind of big, purchases, big things. But then you look at this stuff that you picked up for $20 an ounce for silver, or 30, even up to the 40, or for gold, some of those 2,000 kind of numbers. And you look at it again and go, to get back into the same kind of numbers you had, it suddenly feels like a much more expensive exercise. And I wonder if anyone else can relate of not wanting to sell back purely for the not wanting to have to buy again.
Yeah, this is the conundrum, isn't it? And I was talking to some people today about, it's great to buy coins and it's great to have them in your stack, but you need to buy stuff to sell.
Mm.
But the hard part is when you do sell it, and we all sell it eventually, whether it's us personally or, those that we leave it to, or the kids or the grandkids or the great-grandkids or whatever it is, someone eventually along the line is going to dispose of this stuff. So you're buying it to sell. I really feel your pain, James. It wasn't that long ago that I unloaded some stuff to buy a property as well. And it's hard because you think, oh, man, I bought it for X. I sold it for X plus, but now the price is X plus plus. And I can't bring myself to buy it back because, it's so much more than what I paid for it or what I got for it when I sold it to, buy whatever. But you've just got to remember that the reason you've bought it is to preserve your wealth, to convert into something at some stage.
Mm.
And so you've done the right thing. You've bought a house and, we all need somewhere to live. So absolutely you've done the right thing. You've just got to get over that hump now of going, look at the price and look at what I sold it for.
Well, look, two things. One on the point of, it's for us peasants, it's hard. And yes, it is. But, you don't have to go in at that kilo or 10 ounce. Or
ease into it again.
Even if you put in like 1 ounce, silver, I used to do that sometimes. And, before I started working here, I'll be passing through and I'm like, hey guys, just quickly, whatever, just, coin out the back and it'll just add. And it all adds up. It all adds up over time. Yeah. Same as gold. People say, look, I really can't afford gold. And, I really can't afford gold too. But you know what? I can afford a gram at a time. And it's not the most economical. And we do have the unallocated program that you can take advantage of. But even if you like myself and just picks up buybacks in 1 gram of gold or, 5 grams at a time, you don't have to wait and that, to save up for an ounce of gold. Like, because I used to buy in ounces of gold. Now I'm going in grams of gold, price and everything else going on. But, it doesn't mean, because I look at it for way long future ahead, right? And I don't, I don't think this is the top by any means. This is my personal opinion. So I'd rather get a few grams than think, I'll save up. And as inevitably do, I save, that goes to something else. I save, that goes to something else. And I could have got a lot more and held a lot more, especially as it adds up over time, if I just did something small regularly. And the other factor I was going to say, the other point I was going to go towards is when you said you have to have something, something to keep or something to sell. I'm terrible with that, as you well know. As you well know, but my sort of reasoning for getting good stuff, and if I can get the good stuff, I'll just get the good stuff. Why get a like 10 just basic buybacks that I don't like if I can pay a little bit more and get something I really like?
Yeah.
The other thing is it'll hurt me more selling back, but that actually with myself helps me keep it for longer because I'll try and squeeze things out from other areas and I don't have to sell it back. So I use that in my own advantage of stacking to try and hold on to it for longer because I do appreciate it rather than, just having like those really cool 10 ounce, say, Perth Mint bars, right? As an example.
Yeah.
I had a few of those, but it's like, well, I'll sell it. But, well, if I can get this really cool minted bar that's, like secondhand, buyback Odin, but you know what I mean? Or even a brand new one, I pay a little bit more. I love looking at it. I enjoy it. And then it actually makes me hold on to it for longer.
Yeah. Stephen Bayer makes a great comment there. If you don't sell it when you need it, then you may as well have spent your cash to go on holiday in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, we lose sight of the fact that sometimes we're just buying gold or silver or platinum, whatever we're doing, to preserve our wealth for spending in the future. And it's really easy to get emotionally attached to these things, but at the end of the day, Stephen's spot on with that comment. And I like Silver Sushi's one there. And I commented on this, a similar theory last week, and I copped a bit of flack for it because I mentioned cryptocurrencies in a similar scenario. But I sold out of my gold stack when it hit 3K because that was the ceiling. It was to purchase shares and gold wasn't moving. Now the gold I sold out has outperformed my ETFs.
Yeah.
You'll find, and then further on he says, now it's difficult to buy back in. You find with most assets, and I'm not just talking precious metals, I'm talking most things, you find that they only go up like 20 days a year. And if you're not holding for those 20 days in the whole year, you've basically missed out on all the price increases. Most price increases go in bursts. Gold has been consistently going up for the last 18 months, so I'm a little bit incorrect. But if you look at it overall, gold, property, shares, all those sorts of things, they tend to go up in bursts. And if you're not holding it, you're going to miss out. So actually, I'm going to jump ahead, Rubes. I know we weren't going to talk about this, but I was thinking before we came on stream, we're just moving through a period now that I don't think I've ever experienced before, where, and it worries me if I'm completely honest. So in the last 3 days, we've had Russian drones breach NATO airspace, crossed into Poland. You know, potentially this is a declaration of war on a very powerful world, really. We had major demonstrations, like serious demonstrations in France, Nepal, Indonesia. Israel struck targets not in the area that they were at war with, but with another country altogether, into Qatar, and blew up a building there. And obviously, we all saw yesterday the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All of these things are major, major hiccups on the world scene, on the global scene, and could cause major, major issues or be indications of major issues. And the stock market's done nothing. It's gone up a bit. Gold really hasn't reacted. It's actually eased a bit. And this is, bear in mind, this is only over 3 days. You can't pick the top of the market at the moment. You can't pick what's going to, like if those things didn't drive the market rapidly upwards or rapidly downwards, depending on which market we're talking about, what on earth will?
Yeah.
Like it is so abstract at the moment where good news doesn't do much and bad news doesn't do much. Like what on earth are we doing?
Is it just because there's been so much, the market's kind of just becoming almost not ignorant, but resilient? I don't know what word to use, but it's just soldiering on despite everything that's happening. It used to be kind of when I started, I remember one of the things you said was, all it takes is a tweet from Trump or something like that, and you'd see the price skyrocket. And it feels like you're having these major events happen now, and you're really not seeing the same kick up as you would have a few years ago. I don't understand it. It's quite strange. Yes, we could be coming immune to it. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. But it's not just the fact that we're just maintaining steady. It's the fact that we are at all-time highs for gold. We are at all-time high for the stock market. Like, this is unheard of in history. What happens next?
The crash.
Is it going to be a crash, though? I mean, these things, when you look at those things that I've just read out, yeah, okay, I'd understand it if the stock market took a hiding in everything except for, I suppose, commodities and war-related shares. Everything else took a hiding. I'd understand it if gold went through the roof. But nothing kind of happened. Yeah. We just maintained all-time highs.
In that sense, with so many things at once in such a short period of time, I think you're absolutely right. And it's both strange and in a way unnerving as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
because you expect I mean, as I said a few times, like when I heard that Australia was putting a travel ban to Lebanon like last September, and I'm like, Michael, I want to lock in gold, and then it just shot up after that. Like I'm watching for triggers like that. I'm used to seeing and knowing and expecting things, and now it's like, hang on a minute, like what is going on? Because it's certainly to put it the old-fashioned way, we're not in Kansas no more.
No way.
And I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
We're in a lot of times it seems like we're in uncharted territory.
I always fall back in these times on there's a comfort being able to pat your stack. I used to laugh at Matt when he used to talk about opening his safe at 2:00 in the morning and getting things out, and that's why he'd never store his numismatics anywhere else, because he liked looking at them at odd times of the day and night. And it cracked me up. But there is a degree of comfort to be looking at it instead of looking for it. Yeah. I know that if the price, like if the world goes to hell in a handbasket, I've got my stack.
Yeah.
I know if the world doesn't go to hell in a handbasket, I've got my stack. So I'm covered.
I think that's one of the scary things about liquidating it for other things is that's it. Like you're saying, it could change on a day-to-day basis in as far as things really kicking off.
Yeah.
What happens if that happens the day after I sell this back to cover the house, the car, the whatever purchase?
Which is why you need to be careful with what you're trading it in for. I think a house is... Yeah. And I'm not going to go on a burst on the house because I've done that before, but I think, you need somewhere to live. And I don't think trading in your precious metal on a house is a bad idea, even if the house goes down. Yeah. Because you need somewhere to live. Shelter's right up there in the top of the pyramid. I'd
just be more concerned about, say, buying in this, particularly in Melbourne, I guess, in the cities and stuff, in crowded areas. That would be my only sort of concern about the property. But say something a little bit suburban, further out, rural, I think that would be great. I mean, that's like you said, you need a place to stay. You need your own premises. Yeah.
And it's not just how, there's other things, I was talking to someone recently, they were trading some in because they were buying a car. Now, absolutely, a car is a depreciating asset, and there's no doubt about that. But you try getting around, unless you live in the middle of a major city, you try getting around to the things you need without a car. Like, it's an essential service. You've got to have it. Yeah. All those types of things. So it's not just saying only buy a house, only swap it for a house. There's many things that different people need. Whether it be medical, whether it be housing, whether it be transport, whether it be food, whether it be, comfort, those types of things. And let's face it, we're only here for a short time. As much as it grinds my gears, I can also see the value of trading some in to take a holiday.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you need that, I guess, in a way, mental reset.
Yeah.
So you can just keep going, keep weathering the storm. Not the storm, weathering the storms.
Yeah.
As they inevitably keep coming.
Like having a nice, relaxing 24 hours in Perth.
Nice, yes. Thoroughly enjoyable, absolutely. Relaxing, I'm not sure.
Look at you two there. You're having a great time.
Yeah, she was pretty full on though, wasn't it?
It was great. But,
that's us right before we collapsed on the floor crying and sobbing.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about that, Michael. But
yeah, that's right.
It was, look, thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for that. I was absolutely mind blown by everyone at the Perth Mint, just how friendly they were, how accommodating, how just appreciative of their time in Q&A session, with the whole extended Bullion Now family. And it was great to meet the Bullion Now family as well,
My favourite part was still the Sunday night.
The Sunday night was fantastic. And for those that went there, we split up sort of like, there were like 3 or 4 tables. So Michael took a table, Rubes took a table, I took a table, and there was a bit of round robins. And still we didn't get to each of us chat to everyone there, which was, we were talking about that earlier, and it was like, that was the only downside to that trip, because we were getting kicked out as well.
Yeah, I'd love to say
very friendly kick out, by the way. I've been kicked out of places before, and this was very nicely Nicely done.
Not the first pub we've been thrown out of, unfortunately.
No. And I believe I have some catching up to do with Matt in terms of getting thrown out of places from what I hear. But and then I did also want to thank, on that note, Flame Pour. Now, I think I sent you something, Rubes, as well. Yes. So thank you very much. Flew from interstate, and he even got us some treats from the same place where they make the
Whistlers.
Yeah, Whistlers, where they make the Perth Mint. I was going to say hot chocolate, the gold chocolate bars. So thank you very much. Have you guys still got yours, or
no? Actually, yes, you have. No, you haven't.
No. I shared mine with me, myself, and I, and we loved it.
Yeah.
We absolutely smashed it.
All your personalities. Great.
Not all. Some were still pissed, but yeah.
Great. Oh, dear. I apologise for coughing in the background. My asthma's starting to flare pretty badly. I don't know why. Excuse me. There's a few people there that are going on holiday by the sounds of it. Tanya's heading off to, was it Fiji? Yeah. Half your luck.
I was wondering, maybe now isn't a great time if you're having a little struggle with asthma there, Michael, but there was a few people asking about unallocated. Someone asking basically what is it at all, and I think it was Shezzy says, I want to gently educate a family member on precious metals. Would unallocated be a good starting point for a newbie? So
nah, it's a waste of money, don't do it.
And it was Vin Zepp that says, what is the unallocated program?
So, look, I don't actually mean what I just said. The unallocated program is where you lock in the spot price. At today's price, you pay that, and you pay that only. There is no ongoing fees. There's nothing along those sort of lines. You can hold it for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade. It doesn't matter. And let me be clear, we're not the only organisation that runs an unallocated program, but let me point to some differences as we go along. So effectively, you're just locking in today's spot price, and you're not actually getting anything in hand for it other than a receipt. But you can then use that unallocated. It's almost like I hate using the word gift voucher, but it's almost like a gift voucher. So you've paid for that spot price, that component of gold, or that component, an ounce of gold or silver or platinum or whatever it is, and you hold on to that. Well, I should say we hold on to it, but you own that ounce of unallocated. And then in a day's time, a month's time, a year's time, a decade's time, you can walk into our store and you can say, actually, I either want to cash that ounce in, or I want to convert it into a 1 ounce Perth Mint gold bar, or a kilo silver bar, or a coin, or whatever. And irrespective of what's happened to spot price, whether it's doubled or halved or gone to the moon or whatever it is, all you're going to pay is the manufacturing premium over and above spot price. So I'm speaking off the top of my head here. I haven't actually got the numbers, but it might be $50 for a Perth Mint 1 ounce gold bar, or something along these sort of lines. So you're locking in the spot price for today. Now, as I said, several companies offer this. What you need to do is make sure that the company that's offering it is not just offering it as a promise, that they're actually backing it with the physical item. So every ounce of gold or silver, whatever we're selling, is backed physically by that same metal in BN. So it may not be, you buy an ounce of gold, it may not be stored as an ounce, it might be stored as 10 1/10 coins, it might be stored as part of a kilo bar that we hold, or anything in between. But it will always be backed physically during that time. And that way you can be sure that if the spot price does double overnight, we're not going to go, oh, we're going bankrupt, we're walking away from this, because we've already backed it with physical gold. So the physical gold that we're holding has also doubled in value. You walk in the next day and you say, I'd like to convert this or cash it out. Makes no difference to us. We're holding it physically, so we just take it out of the storage and metaphorically sell it straight back through the shop to someone else, or liquidate it in some other way. But it means that it's physically backed there, so you don't have to worry about the price moving or anything along those sort of lines. Now, the only charge that's involved with it, or the two charges, I suppose you could say, is one, you're going to pay that premium that I spoke about before, above spot price when you convert it into a physical item. Or if you choose to cash it out, then at that point, you get spot price, less $30 an ounce in gold or $30 a kilo in silver. Or if you're going into ounces of silver or grams of gold, it's $1 on each. So that is the only quote-unquote cost involved with it. You're not paying for insurance. You're not paying for storage or anything of those sorts of things that you do if you're storing your bar here. That is the whole kind of thing that it is. We don't make a profit. This is what confuses people sometimes, and I had to laugh. During COVID, there was this big thing of, we're going to crash the unallocated program. Everyone go in and buy unallocated or sell your unallocated. And it's like, sell the unallocated, wasn't it?
Redeem it.
Yeah, redeem your unallocated. We'll crash it. And we're like, okay, no worries. Come on in. Because it's only at that point that we actually make a profit out of it. So we're like, bring it on. This is the best negative publicity I've ever had in my life. I'm making a fortune out of this. So it worked really, really well. You've got to be careful that your program is backed by that. The advantage that we get out of it, and the whole reason that we offer this, is because it gives us the ability to stock more variations. So, for example, let's say you've bought an ounce of gold and it's part of a kilo bar that's sitting in the safe that's allocated to that's backing the unallocated program. Let me put it that way so I don't confuse things. I'm talking to the boys in the shop and they go, we're at a kilo bars of gold. I say, that's okay. There's some in the unallocated program. I can replace that kilo of gold with 1,000 grams of gold, like 1,000 gram bars of gold. So it's still a kilo because I've got heaps of those in at the moment. So I put 10 of those in and I take out that kilo bar. So your bar is still backed, but instead of being backed by a kilo bar, it's now being backed by 1,000 gram bars, so the same amount. And I can take that kilo bar, put it in the shop, and I can now sell it. So it's still backed. It's just changed the form in the way that it's backed. And that's the advantage we have because it means we can...
It gives us versatility.
When we're running low on a type of stock, but we've got plenty of another type of stock, we can just do the old switcheroo, put one in, take one out, and away we go again as a store. I don't know if I've just confused everyone even more, but that's the basics of it.
Now, there's been a lot of comments about it, a lot of positives. There's been some questions following on from that. Things like, are there any plans to do fractions of ounces for unallocated?
Well,
for example, half an ounce of silver?
Yeah, silver we don't. Look, the short answer is yes. We're waiting for this never-ending wait for this new ERP system to get organised. Once that's in place, I'm more hopeful that we can do it. But right at the moment, our current system would just have a meltdown if we attempted to do it. So not yet, but ask me again in the new year.
Water Monkey says, while we're on the topic of unallocated, there seems to run out on the web quite quickly lately. Any chance Bullion Now can top it off before the weekend or maybe even every day?
We top it up fairly frequently. We have to be careful with it because, as I said, it is physically backed. So I don't want it going up without knowing that we can physically back it because I don't want to paper back it. But we usually keep it topped up. We are careful with topping it up on the weekend more because, like, if there's a sudden price run or anything along those sort of lines, or there's a problem with the website, I don't want to get caught out. So we are a little cautious with it over the weekend. But yeah, we try and keep it topped up. Look, if you're ever chasing it, and admittedly this can only happen during business hours, but if there's none up on the web or there's not enough up on the web for what you want, you can always just give us a call, 1300 84 84 10. Talk to Sean or Sylvia on the phones and just say, look, there's only 2 ounces of gold listed up on the web. I'm really chasing 10 ounces of unallocated gold. Is there any chance? And usually they'll put a quick phone call through to me and say, hey, we've got someone chasing 10 ounces or whatever it is, silver, gold, whatever. They're not up on the web. Can we back it at the moment? And I'll have a quick look and go yes or no. And I don't think I've ever said no to that. They'll sell it straight over the phone.
That's also testimony to, from what I was looking at it before, I was an employee of Bullion Now, and how it disappears from time to time. But it's also like, to me, that without knowing the business as I do now, it was also a sort of an extra level of, I guess, trust, because it's not like, oh, it's there all the time, but is it back physically or not, when everything else is running short and that's there all the time. So because someone asked me about it, I go, no, well, we have to also make sure that we have the physical to sell as unallocated. Otherwise, it's not backed one-to-one, and we don't do that. So that's another reason for the confirmations.
Look, there's only twice that I can think of off the top of my head where I couldn't source more to back it, and that was during the kickoff of COVID, where no one knew what was going on and everyone was stopping to sell and closing down and all sorts of stupid things. So it became very difficult at that point, and I'm pretty sure that I actually pulled it completely off the web for a number of days, purely because we couldn't guarantee that we could. I mean, everything that we had was backed, but it was selling more where I went, I want this to calm down first before we guarantee that we can, the new ones that are being sold, that we can back them. So
it's good that it can sell out, because if it was infinite, that's when you do have to worry it's not backed.
Yeah, well, that's right.
It's actually reassuring, believe it or not.
It's not infinite fractional
reassuring
banking.
Is the word I was looking for when I was saying about the trust. It was reassuring, very much so.
So it does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. So there's a degree of flexibility there. J-Mac, you're concerning me no, it wasn't J-Mac. Somebody on there, Mudguts. Not 100% sure, and I don't want you to identify yourself on a live stream, but if you can flick us the invoices into live, so live at bullionnow.com.au, I'll get Ruben to flick them to me, and I'll have a look, because either I'm misunderstanding or somebody's made a mistake on our end, but that shouldn't have happened. So I'll have a look at it, and I'll see if I can work out what's going on there.
There's some questions about a few different things: the SMSF statements, the unallocated and allocated statements for the year.
So they should be. I haven't talked to Con's in charge of that, but Perth Mint have released the prices that we were waiting on.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, they have. So they'll either have gone out, or they will be going out, or they will be out very soon. So let me chase up with Con exactly what's happening there. But yeah, they should be out very, very soon now, because we've got the final bit of data we needed on it.
And I was witness to Michael badgering Perth Mint in person. So yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Had an email in from a customer this week, Michael, wanting to know if we would purchase these. This is 23 karat gold, sold by M&S in the UK, and it's a chocolate carat. With some gold leaf on top. Interesting product.
I probably would, actually. You're mixing my two favourite things, chocolate and gold.
Actually, as a bulk deal, they should actually have 23 carats.
Yeah, that's right.
For 23
Well, it actually, I think there might be some small ones based on the little ears down there, so I'm actually not sure if it's just one big product or not.
I did, actually, on a similar note, I was just talking to Plume in the live chat. I did finally manage to track down what I was after for 5 years, and that's some Serbian plum and quince brandy with the gold inside. And then talking to the guy who was saying he had trouble importing it because, he had, for the gold value and content. So he goes, look, fingers crossed for now, but it might not be available for long. So yeah.
I just want to drag us back to the unallocated, because I don't feel I've been completely open and honest about it in some ways. One of the limitations of unallocated, and it's the same to a degree with allocated, you are tied to us. Like if you store stuff with us, you can only access it during business hours to sell it, or to convert it over to whatever you want to do. So that is one of the limitations. It's only Monday to Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to 1 that you can actually convert it over. So you are tied to that.
Sorry, just to say something, the Saturday, if you're in store, because you don't do that.
Because we don't run the phones on the Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's only in store. The other thing that I probably didn't emphasise is, and I'm a big believer in, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And in unallocated, we hold it physically, not you. So if that's your burn, that you've got to hold it. And look, I'm not dismissing that. I'm a big fan of holding it yourself, sort of thing. But you need to understand that because of the design, the way the unallocated program is designed, we hold it, not you. So there's a degree of trust that has to be there. I could also argue that it's diversification because I know some people do use it for that because they've got some stuff and they store that in one place in physical, but by holding it unallocated here, they're effectively holding it physically here without the ongoing storage charges as well. So there's different ways to look at it, but I just wanted to be really clear that it is a physical product, but it's a physical product that we store on your behalf. It's not something that you can actually take home. So if that's an issue, you need to be aware of that right from the start.
It was one of the things I remember you saying originally in some of the original videos was that it was a system designed by people who believed in the if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And that was, obviously, when it's a system like that, it can't actually be held by you, but that's it. It tries to tick as many of the concerns as people have about that. And it's also something we don't recommend really in the shop unless someone's coming forward with a particular use case where it might work, like, they want to save up for a larger size or something like that. And so, if someone says, hey, these are my constraints, and, we might point people towards it then, but it's also not something every single customer we're going, got to get into unallocated, got to get in. It works in certain cases and it works really well in those cases, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Some people love it, some people don't.
My favourite thing about it, the way I see it, is risk diversification.
Yeah.
And while you're not paying the storage fees, and then you can convert it or sell it back at any other time.
Yeah, and that is a big plus when you're holding physical. Wherever you hold it, unless you hold it on site here, I suppose. But whenever you're holding physical and you need to sell it, you've actually got to, carry it all the way into wherever you're selling it, whether you're selling it for Bullion Now or whether you're selling it to another dealer. You've got to carry it in.
Peer.
Yeah, you've got to take it there. You've got to actually do the transaction and convert it. When you're holding unallocated, we're holding the physical. You pick up the phone, you say, hey, I've got an ounce of gold in your unallocated program. I need it cashed out. I need the money this afternoon. Depending on the banks, you may, we do our payment run at about 3:00 in the afternoon, except on Fridays because I'm on live stream. It runs a little bit later, but we do our payment run at about 3 in the afternoon. So assuming the banks don't hold it up for any reason, you should have it, by 3:05. Most afternoons. So it saves that, I have to go in to actually cash it in. I can just do this over the phone.
Yeah.
There's a comment there from James. It says, hi, Michael. I received a 2014 Year of the Horse high relief 1 ounce gold coin as a buyback.
Oh, cool.
Unfortunately, there is a little damage and no package comes with it. I would like to know the story about this coin.
Because I read that comment, I thought it was interesting in the sense that with that question, the story of the design of the year, or how many you made, or is it why the coin, like how it was bought back? Because
how's it damaged?
Sometimes people bring back the package. Sometimes they bring it in original, even capsules or packaging. Sometimes none. Sometimes it's as mint as it came the day out of the mint itself, say Perth Mint in this case, or other times it's just like been buried and dug up. So that's the
you spoiled the aura. I was going to make up a whole story for that one.
But don't listen to me. Have a listen to what Michael wrote.
I want to hear what story he was going to come up with.
But the other thing is...
it involved dragons and knights and the whole box and dice, and you've just...
the treasure of the land.
Kids got to grow up sometime.
And sometimes we don't always know. I mean, we ask questions sometimes, but sometimes there's... people enjoy the privacy of just the anonymity of just, I've got this, I want to sell it, take my cash, goodbye.
Look, I'm generally a talky, chatty person, but sometimes, and a lot of time people open up and tell you the stories, and I always find it fascinating. There was a gentleman that was talking to us yesterday that was, collecting silver and melting it from the old hospital x-ray machines and things like that. So, you start, it's like a thread. You pull a little thread and a conversation, just all these things unroll, But other times people just don't, yes, no, you don't feel that coming and you just leave it alone. So I actually haven't bought that back myself. And if you haven't either, Rubes, then the actual story to that coin itself and how it came in, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, but a 2014 high relief,
but that's, I can tell you that's rare. I've never actually seen it in person ever. So
that's a great pickup.
You've actually really scored if you got that as a buyback. That's huge. But it's funny with customers and with ourselves. Sometimes sometimes you very much get the impression that actually I don't want to talk about this. I just want to do the transaction, and that's absolutely fine, 100% fine. But sometimes you pull a thread, like you said, and you get some of the most amazing stories out of people of, either where they got it or where their, grandfather bought it, or, like things will come in. There was a bar that we were talking about this morning where it's an old kilo silver bar, and we'll probably show it on the next live stream. Yeah. But it's an old silver bar, and it's got the receipt with it. And you think, wow, this was bought in the 70s or the 80s.
And that one was bought in 1980, and the gentleman was telling me all the stories about the Hunt brothers, around that time.
Yep.
He was the one that actually had a different thing, like melted down and how he was collecting from the hospital x-ray machines. But yeah, I bought that off him, and then he goes, "Oh, did you want the receipts?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, of course I want the receipt. So yeah, some people get a kick out of it, and for many, like, they don't care, because he was saying, "Look, I don't care. I've got a lot more at home." So hopefully we'll see more of those vintage bars come through.
Right. But it's amazing, some of the stories that you get. I still go back to a little old lady, a beautiful lady that came in. She lived out in the country, and she'd had to get a ride into Melbourne to sell her gold. And she and her husband had stacked gold for many years because they'd bought shares back in the 60s, and they'd lost a stack of money on it. So they decided, they were newly married. Yeah. They'd decided that they were only going to buy gold from that point on, and they'd stored it in the sock drawer. And she was coming in to liquidate some, and she was well into her 90s. Like, this was serious stuff. And she still had the invoices for it, still in pounds. She'd bought it in pounds. And it was just an amazing...
That's with you?
Sorry?
Was that with you?
Yeah, that was very early on in the day. Like, we opened Bullion Now. It would have been within the first 12 months. And I would have loved to have got her. I'll bet she's not even alive anymore. If she is, she'd be well over. It's like she'd be over 100.
And if you are, I'm sorry about Michael's remarks.
But it was just a beautiful story how she talked about, this is how they saved as a young couple and as a family. And she was liquidating some of the last. She still had more, but she was liquidating some of the last. And she talked about how it provided for, I'm getting goosebumps, how it had provided for her and for her husband, for their medical care and their housing in their old age and all this sort of stuff. And it was just the most beautiful thread to pull.
Wow. Have you still got those receipts?
I probably still have the receipts. We don't have the gold. Unfortunately, it was early on in the day.
But the receipts will be great to see. And it's funny, like, we're talking when we were at after the Perth Mint, the back end tour, and with a few of the extended Bullion Now family, like, "Oh, what was your favourite?" I'm like, actually, and everyone knows how much I love my bullion, but I'm like, I love those timber crates, those big timber crates that they put all the offcuts and the bars. And he was like, "Me too." And I just said to the guys, it reminds me of the scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark and seeing, in the factory, all those crates of treasure. And I mean, so for me, as much as I love the vintage bullion, like those receipts and written in pounds, especially, like that to me, stuff. To me, it's a part of that bullion history that I think needs to be preserved. So that will make a great display.
Yeah, we should do it. I'll see if I can hunt them up. They'll be around.
I'll remind you.
They'll be on my desk.
It's interesting thought exercise from Stephen there. It says, so hang on to your Bullion Now receipts, people, for the future, for future bullion deals to talk about. And it's very weird and cool to know that, just the daily transactions we're doing are the type of things that will stick. People will keep their receipts for these things, and they're the kind of things that people will hang on to for,
well, it's like
decades to come.
That one we were talking about a few weeks ago where they sold back was it a 50 gram or was it a 1 ounce? No, it might have been a half ounce gold bar that they sold back, and they came with the note from the company.
Yes.
That said, this is for getting vaccinated twice during the thing. It was and so we actually kept, I think we kept, Alex was in charge of that one.
Yes, Alex was in charge. If you're asking, don't bother, because I've already dibbed it with Michael, right? No, because there was this discussion of, do we melt it, do we not,
I think we
and I'm like, no, absolutely. With a lot of stuff that I know that I've gone through with other people around that I know personally on both sides, and just what it's caused. It's part of, I think it's part of history.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll be
in
good
50 years' time.
Exactly. And this is what I said, look, I'll be rapt to take it in the super, because years later it's preserved, and then when you look at it, it's like a time capsule,
Absolutely.
and that's for good and bad, and that's with anything. It's a part of, it's that woven fabric that basically you had to wear during those times. So yeah.
I love that. Robbo's on holiday somewhere, and he's taken a BN bag and he's taken pics.
No, he's wanting to change it up. He's saying everyone else is doing Bullion Now bags. He wants to do something else.
You could do Bullion Now shirts.
For sale at bullionnow.com.au.
Yeah.
Another follow-up from James, not really answering some of the things before, just says, why 2025 Royal UK Mint Gold British Lion coin 1 ounce doesn't come with capsule? Where can I buy the capsule suited?
That would be a Royal Mint.
Yeah, I don't know why they...
Because they send them to us in the actual tubes. Yeah. So when you buy them from us, we'll actually encapsulate as best we can with what we've got available, and that's free of charge, like thanks to Michael. But yeah, we don't get those. That's why one of the many things I love about the Perth Mint is like how you buy their coins and like even the platinum. Like, you know, I love my platinum, and they come in the proper, you know,
capsules.
like their own capsules. Even the 1/10s, like everything is encapsulated.
I think we're a little bit spoiled for that, obviously, because we're in Australia. Because I think if you're actually in the UK, a lot of them, if you're buying direct, some of them do actually come in capsules and things like that. So I think it's something we're a little bit ruined for by being here in Australia, you know, buying from some of these international...
I think that's even with the Perth Mint with the rectangular coins.
Well, I think they do. I think Perth Mint do it internationally, but Royal Mint doesn't. I think they treat their...
Like former convict colonies?
Something like that.
So Robbo's saying what he needs is normal holiday pics, because all his pics have got BN bags in them.
Oh, right.
That's how it should be, mate.
The other thing I was going to say is you can use BN pens as well.
That's right. Yeah, you're showing that to the in-laws and they're going, well, what? Why is this bag following you around everywhere?
I got up to something slightly interesting this week, Michael. The one time I had free from the shop this week, I thought I would throw together some of the artwork from the Silver Proof Lunar series, the Perth Mint do. So you always, in pretty much every, I think since the start of Series 3, you've gotten on and said, oh, they're going to make this picture and we really should put them all together one day. And we really haven't ever actually dragged them all together and put them into this one big image. So that's it. On the boxes of all these proof, they're making this big motif. And I thought I would put them all next to each other, and so you can kind of get a bit of an idea of the broader picture that Perth Mint is making there. And I really love some of the blending that they've done between. So not all of them. I think some of them are a bit but like the mouse sitting there on the back of the ox, that's it. You can see the tail and the back of the ox even on that mouse. You've got like the dragon blowing the gale through for the rabbits, and even down to the snake. You can see there the horse's hoof is actually protruding like through the snake, and you can actually see that on the snake design. And so it's kind of cool to see the broader picture that Perth Mint's going for.
Which actually makes more sense, because I remember when that snake came out, me going, What's
that?
Heck's it wrapped around? That's the weirdest thing. Now it makes sense.
I haven't even. The only time I've really not looked at him, but heard about him was when Ing was talking about it.
Yeah.
At the Q&A, and then I'm like, I haven't even looked at those proof, but you know the back
boxes,
of them. So just putting them together like that, that's great. Yeah, that looks incredible. But that's also a problem now, because now I want
the whole lot. Yeah. But that was, we chatted to Ing while we were over in Perth, and we've actually got an interview with her coming out, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And she's the one that has designed all of those things, as well as designed this year's horse. Yeah. Well, next year's
That was a
horse.
great interview.
Yeah, so she's done some incredible work doing that. It looks... that's actually the first time I've seen them all together like that, and it just looks fantastic.
Well, that's why I wanted to do it, because I don't really think Perth have capitalised on it. You know, it would be cool to see even somewhere on their website or something of, you know, this is the the thing
It's like, maybe
developing.
it's like an Easter egg, like a hidden.
Well,
like
that's
a
it.
hidden
I did
feature
mention it to someone,
that
and
you've just
they
spoiled
said
for
they said, yeah, that's it. They probably want people to buy them all to be able to make it up themselves. But even with the boxes, you've then got the border of the box. You've then got the the gap in between them, and so it's even visually they're a little bit harder to visualize. Even if you purchased every single year, it's still a bit harder to visualize. And so I think having having it digitally done to be able to line it all up, I just thought it was cool.
No, well done. Oh, I love that.
So yeah, good work, Perth. Looking forward to seeing what you get up to with the rest of the series.
Yeah. We'll have a couple of comments there now. BN sleeping bags for the holiday picks. I think that's a great idea. And Robbo, if you next time you place an order, just say, can you please send me a pen in the notes there, and or if you're stopping in the store, grab one, and we'll certainly get you one there.
Yeah, and there's been a large number of people in the store. Oh, can I have a pen as well? I'm like, yeah, sure. So
absolutely. So
thanks
that's what
for
we're
watching.
buying for. Yeah. Yep. I love Stephen C's comment there. Bought a 2024 rectangular Dragon at Ander, and the fella put it in a BN bag. Good to know.
Was it Matt?
Yeah. And Hades Industries goes to show their pre-planning, so he's referencing the motif there. That's I don't think I'm talking out of school because I'm pretty sure Neil said it publicly, but that's actually the first time that they've been that organised for a lunar series where they've actually planned it out properly and that. So yeah.
I believe Neil said it private publicly when we weren't allowed to record. So thanks for.
Well, I blew that one. Sorry, Neil.
I don't know. That's how I remembered it. But I was running on fumes and prayers, very little sleep. So
I think it makes sense. I mean, they started series 1 halfway through, so definitely no chance of being fully organised for that one. Series 2 then was their first go at doing a full lunar series. Yeah. And so series 3 is the next logical one where they could have got it all going together, and they really have. They set out a bit of an overarching brief beforehand that the Ing was the one to organise, and that would have included things like this to get all that done first.
My concern is, what do they do for series 4?
I reckon.
How do you top that?
Look, I've been, as I said there, I've been very impressed with Lunar 3 series.
Yeah.
It's been, like, overall, it's been the most consistent, and it's just been incredible. Not just because they have platinum now, which they didn't before, but just the designs, especially the gold platinum designs. I'm almost, like, pretty much everyone is a winner for me.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed them. Yeah.
Speaking of Lunar, there was a few questions asking before about how we were going filling orders for them. So people that have made pre-orders, when were the coins actually flowing through?
They're starting to flow through now. I can't tell you which sizes have arrived off the top of my head. The 1 ounce silver is definitely here, and that's available in the store, and the orders are being filled as we speak. The half ounce hasn't arrived yet in the silver. No. And I can't speak to any of the others because they were the only two I was chasing this morning. But I know they've arrived.
Yeah, the kilos haven't arrived.
No, the kilos haven't arrived. But I know that they're arriving, and we've started processing and getting them out. So you should have them. You should start receiving them very, very soon.
Interesting point there from Keitho. Would be interesting to know if they call it Series 4, as the Chinese don't like the number 4 because it means death.
That's actually very
good point.
Yeah, he might go straight to Series 5.
Should have a yarn to Perth Mint and see if they've thought of that one yet.
I don't know. Yeah, the problem is, unless you call it something completely different, even if you do just skip to number 5, people are going to know it's, it's going to hurt.
It's like when you go to a hotel and there's no level 13.
Level 4. Level 13, and
Series
in some Asian
D.
play, like no level 4.
Level 4.
Yeah, levels, ground 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Right. Here we go. I like Jay's question there. What's the best advice you both received when starting off in the industry? What was yours?
Don't buy the rhodium, and I didn't take it.
What about you, Rubes?
I don't know. It's
Sorry, I didn't take the advice. I took the rhodium, not the advice.
Right.
It's the first thing that comes to mind, and it's maybe not specific advice, but it's something I remember early on from working here, and it was that when I first came to you and said, hey, like I really wanted to jump in and buy my first silver ounce or whatever it was, you turn around and you said, yep, that's fine, but first tell me why you want to buy it. And so it was very interesting, and that's it. It wasn't specific advice per se, but it was advice on not just because obviously COVID and panic, a lot of panic was going on at the time, and it's all right. Don't just jump into this because of this thing, you know, the FOMO. Actually articulate why you're wanting to get into this and start into it. And obviously that's good just from a sales point of view of then me being able to talk to customers about it, which is obviously what I was needing to do. But it was also really good as a thought exercise to go, okay, well, why do I want this? Why am I actually starting to stack? And so that's it. That's what my mind goes to. Even though it wasn't specific advice from you, it was figuring out why I would possibly want to start a stack and actually think through that.
Good.
What about yours, Michael?
Well, so I took it as not so much starting in the industry stacking as starting in the industry as a business. And I think the best advice I received was don't do it. Which kind of like your rhodium, I ignored stupidly.
Yeah, but I bet you like my rhodium. You're glad you did ignore it.
Some days, but I can tell you some days I feel run over.
Yeah. Just wanted to get back to... I think it was Desi that asked, did I get over to Ander in Hobart? I absolutely wanted to. It just didn't work out. Still coming back from Perth. I had a lot on just personally in my private life, so I didn't have the time. But that one I'm actually spewing about. I think I really want to get out there next year because I absolutely love Tassie. And I've only ever been to the Melbourne Ander show, so I haven't experienced any of the others, and Tassie's on top of that list.
Yeah. I'm devastated I couldn't go, but I absolutely couldn't go this week. All the week just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, very disappointed.
I've got my what did Ruben find on Instagram this week, Michael and Alex, and I actually changed this one up slightly from the one I mentioned to you earlier that I might be showing on here because I was taking a look at lunchtime and I saw this one out of the Royal Mint and I thought it was very, very interesting but very, very cool to see that they'd done something with this. And this is a silver proof coin from the Royal Mint. And it is a 1984 George Orwell Big Brother is watching coin.
I was just going to say, can you flip it on the side?
Well, you probably can, but you're putting him on the spot, mate.
Yeah.
No. Because it just, the first thing I saw now on the big screen is like the Tower of Sauron.
Oh, yeah.
You want that?
Yeah, there we go. Yep, there we go.
You geek.
But yeah, no, the designer...
Says a Star Wars fanatic. Yeah.
The designer of it was going for the eye mixed with the camera lens.
Yeah, it's actually very clever design.
Yeah.
It's a very, very clever design.
And I thought it was super cool to see them to see them do that. I think they even did them in like just regular like £2 coins. I think there might be a non-precious metals version. But anyway, that one came up. I thought it was cool. There has been a lot of cool ones though that I've been saving. So yeah, I'll keep highlighting the cool things I come across going on in the bullion
this is
world.
an excuse to justify sitting there at work scrolling through
that's the one.
Instagram for
Well, see, and I don't
doom scrolling, they call it, don't they?
Yeah, I love seeing what you find and sharing that with us, but I also don't because
it's
I'm chasing that, like now I keep forgetting, luckily, when I'm at home, but the shell was the clam shell you showed last time. And I'm like, I need that.
That's why I want.
And I didn't know I needed it until you showed me that. I'm like, how could I have lived without this?
It's one of the reasons I'm trying to make sure it's fairly varied in things, so it doesn't just become this is who. I mean, it's definitely not this, but this is who sponsored the segment or something like that. I wanted to make it new coins, old coins, ones from companies I've never heard of, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
We've also got, as we were talking about and we're getting close to time here already, so I better run it soon. We also have the classic, Where in the World is the Bullion Now bag? We've had lots of submissions this time around, so I'm actually not going to be able to get to them all today. But I've picked out, we've got 3 here that I'll kick off with for today. So let's run the theme song.
Where in the world is that Bullion Now bag? Where could it be? Can you guess? Let's see.
All right. right, so I've got three. I'm going to say of varying difficulties here. So the first one, you guys here will definitely be able to get, and I suspect it'll be a bit of a race in the comments to see who gets this one first. But we have this one here.
Oh, let me think about this
You
one.
know what? That's a great shot, though. I
Yeah,
love that
but
shot.
it's missing a piece of paper. The dumbest sign to hang on that place that I think I've ever seen. And they did it twice.
In there first with
Yeah,
Perth.
that's
And
right.
Springer with clarifying as the Perth Mint. Yep, bang on for that one. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Sorry, did I miss it? Did you explain what the piece of paper actually was?
No.
Are you going to?
No, you can do it if you like.
It's just a traffic sign. You've got these, ornate, lovely gates saying,
Beautiful entry into Perth Mint.
yeah, the
Stunning.
original back when it was, the Royal Mint, stuff like that. And you've got this hastily put up sign there saying that the street that it's on now runs both ways.
Yeah, that's right. Just a piece of photocopy paper stuck to the door.
Yeah, check both
Twice.
directions. Yeah,
It's like,
kind of ruins
really?
it. Kind of ruins it a little bit, but hey. All right.
don't feel too bad. It's actually the gates are actually from the it shows that it's the London Mint.
Yeah.
So it was actually a natural assumption that it would be London.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
the convicts took it and never gave it back.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going
Smuggled it in their check-in luggage.
going a bit further afield, and you'll be able to guess the city pretty quick based on the signage of this one, but it's outside of something specifically. We got that one there.
What's in London?
Yeah, so that fairly identifiable from the signage there.
What is that building on the left?
Last time I was in London, I actually stayed in, I can't remember where now, somewhere fairly popular.
There we go. Lord's
it
cricket
is.
ground.
It's in Lords. But I actually wandered around the Monopoly board, and coincidentally, my kids were actually playing Monopoly back home, and I was doing it at like 2 a.m. So I'm taking photos of their streets, and I was getting back, oh, I've just bought that one. And I'm thinking,
What? Hey, you taught them well. Huh?
that's right.
Good investment.
All right, we'll see how people go on this this last one here. I don't know if there's enough identifiable to pick it, but we'll see. We've got that one there.
Come on, that could be anywhere.
That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Sherbrooke Forest.
I wanted to highlight it, but I think it's a bit hard to make this one out for anything super identifiable. But it's still cool that our bags have been here, so I will still highlight the spot.
Callista, is it?
Is it within Australia?
It is within Australia.
Yeah.
Dandenong Mountains.
I reckon Tassie.
I think
Doesn't look cold
I'm
enough.
going to have to go for Ospringer there with North Queensland. It's up near the Gold Coast, in Currumbin Valley.
Oh, there you go.
So it looks like a beautiful spot.
It does.
Yeah,
And was that the last one, Rubes?
Yeah.
it's the last one that I've got organised for this week.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's it. There is a few more,
Right,
but
right.
I'm drawing the line there for.
All right, I
for
won't
this
say
week.
anything there yet.
But no, there was.
We,
there was a
we
few
have had a
others
few
as well.
submissions.
It's
People
been-
must
which
have
has
been
been good.
going on holiday.
Yeah, no, please keep that up. If you have one, send it through to live@bullionnow.com.au.
Again, bags or pens.
Yep,
Or jumpers.
Or jumpers or
Or
shirts.
hoodies
Yeah.
or shirts, yep.
it's just super cool to see the places our products end up.
Oh, I meant to comment. Sorry, you jumping in on that one?
No, you comment.
No, people earlier on, somebody was commenting on my shirt, and they were asking about the Darth Vader shirt. This is actually, I'm trying to get out of the way of the camera. It's actually a Bullion Now shirt.
This is Darth Michael's shirt.
That's right. So I am actually in uniform. Somebody was commenting earlier, and I meant to make comment
Actually,
on it.
I got a Twitter comment as well from one of our customers. Michael looks better in black.
Oh, there you
And
go.
there's more to it, but that's the first thing was about how you look in the
Yeah, I
black
don't
shirt.
know about that, but I am in Bullion Now uniform.
I said to you, Michael, it was actually more closely akin to the Star Trek thing of the red shirts versus the yellow shirts. It was just to highlight the fact you're in charge.
Is he allowed to still work? Yes, mentioning Star Trek.
Yeah, I know. He's on rocky ground, I can tell you.
That little coin shop sold Star Trek coins when I started, so
Yes,
that's
they did.
my that's my defense.
What's that? Who was selling?
Little coin
Little
shop.
coin shop, Star Trek coins.
Yeah, they
They
had
even sold the receipt, the communicator.
Oh wow, okay.
That was really cool, that thing.
We better move on before we commit more sacrilege by talking about Star Trek on a Star Wars fan channel.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to start winding up and looking at some rapid fire questions, I think.
Wow. Wow. We had so much to cover, and we
much
covered
wisdom
most
there
of
with
it.
that, mate.
I was going to say, there was the other story that you had, Alex, and I'm sorry I haven't.
We'll go there next week because I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah.
It's overseas, but yeah, I just can't believe it's already 3 to 4.
Yeah,
That's what's
it's gone
spun me
quick. So if there's any question that you asked earlier in the stream, or if there was one you were hanging on to till now, please put it down now, and we'll endeavour to hit.
Copy and paste.
Yeah,
Copy and repaste.
We'll endeavour to hit as many as we can before we end off the stream for this week.
Well,
So
Metal Inquisitor has been
Yes.
very patient with his one.
yes, he has. So that's it. Was out of the Pakenham store. Sylvia and Kate were awesome. They also said to tell Michael that he must get the holographic mythical forest coin from Germania Mint. Have we got any comment on that? Are we getting them?
I don't know. It sounds like we might have to.
Sounds like you need to talk to the owner of a little coin shop.
Yeah, that's the one.
Any update on the Hobart Mint?
No, I haven't been down there yet. It's after the 15th. I can't tell you exactly when it is, but it's after next week that I'm heading down there.
What's the price of gold on Monday, Michael?
It
could be last Monday,
It'll
or-
either be higher or lower or about the same as today. One of those.
When you're moving metal to and from unallocated versus for sale stacks, do you physically move metal to and from the unallocated vault, or is it a mouse click?
It's sometimes it's both. It just depends on where the unallocated is in the system at the time and what I'm trying to allocate or trying to grab, I should say. So sometimes it's purely a mouse click. That was going into the vault. It's no longer going into the vault. And sometimes it's actually ratting around and trying to find it.
Any chance of Scottsdale Vortex bars, and if so, when?
There is a chance. I don't know when, though.
Guys, who actually makes the XAG rounds?
It depends which ones we're talking about. They're made in several different organisations.
Gold price prediction for the end of the year. See, this
Okay,
was interesting. I got asked this like a month or so ago, and I set it at 5.5, and the person I was talking to was like, "Wow, there's no way it's not going to go that high." And so it was a little bit of indication when it's blown through the 5.5, but I'm not sure now.
Personally, I think it's going to be higher anyway. So whatever it is now, it's going to be a lot higher.
Well, I hinted at it, and I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but one of the big guys, can't remember which one, Goldman's, they've done a report on it going to $4,500 US an ounce. And it's a fascinating article, not so much by the price they're calling, but why they're calling it, going through to the end of this year and into next year. So
Might have to get you to share that one.
yeah, there's some big money backing it going quite a bit higher. So go with the smart money, I'd suggest.
Any updates on the horse certificates? I'm scared to ask that one because
You should be really scared to ask about that one. I got quite a hard time smuggling those out of Perth.
Yeah, it's again, I was witness to that. You trying,
Yeah,
but
so-
it wasn't that. Yeah, we've got a very, very limited.
Yeah.
any Royal Australian Mint lunar horses coming through, specifically in the 1 ounce silver?
Not yet.
Have we got a date for the 2026 gold 1 ounce kangaroo?
I always get mixed up between the kangaroos and the koalas. I think the kangaroo comes out in November and the koalas in January. I'm sure it's that way around.
Was really holding back having to tell you that the kangaroos are the ones that jump along
Yeah,
the...
good on you.
Any news on the kids club starting?
No, but we are closer, particularly after that trip to the US.
Where can I go to find any information on the new Wonka bar? Can't seem to find anything at all on Google.
Because it hasn't been released yet. You have to hold fire for a little bit longer.
I think you said end of October?
All right, I'll jump in on that one, and I think it was Roxy's dad last week that asked, but it was at the end of the stream, so he didn't get to answer, I don't think. Would you be confused looking at the new Wonka bar compared to the old Wonka bar to see which is which? Can you answer that?
I can answer that.
Okay, he can answer that. All right, next question.
Can we pay cash in Pakenham?
Yep.
Can unallocated be used to acquire little coin shop products?
Oh, so long as you don't tell anyone, I'll do it for you.
I think you answered who made the XAG rounds before, didn't you?
Yeah, I think they're looking for specifications.
Yeah.
It's a local company in Melbourne. I don't want to give it out without permission to say so. So that's as close as I'm going to go for now.
Heading to pick up my stuff from Pakenham on Monday. Looking forward to it. Will there be something coming with the Unallocated program where you can see your balance through your account on the internet?
Yes, but not yet.
There's a few people putting in their guesses for the end of the year. Do you know when the cooks are due to come out?
Oh, good grief. No, I do. I've got it on a note somewhere, but my computer's actually run out of go juice, so I can't even look it up.
Cooks. Yeah, it's end of the stream. I'm hearing crooks. I'm seeing when Parliament session finishes. But
Right. What next release are you guys looking forward to the most?
Oh, there's so many. Some of the new Germania stuff coming out. That's actually what I thought you were doing for the Instagram one.
Yeah.
That gilded one looks absolutely stunning. So looking forward to, some of the Germania stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, well, I'd have to say likewise. But then I'm always... So now it's another long wait until the next lunar coin comes out for me, because that's the one I look forward to the most every year.
When will the 2 kilo Ultra Leaf be coming out?
Oh, that's the bee, isn't it? No, the butterfly.
Butterfly.
Bee or the butterfly? I can't remember which way. It's the butterfly.
Can we talk anything about that?
We can't mention that it's the butterfly, though.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm not sure.
I'm fairly sure Perth Mint have talked about it themselves in upcoming releases.
Okay.
It looks brilliant.
That it does.
The people are wanting more clarification on how we're handing out those first day certs.
We're not handing them out.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what we're doing with them because like I said, I had to smuggle them out of there on the quiet, and unfortunately I didn't have my big suitcase with me.
When are Perth Mint kilo bars coming back into stock?
They should be trickling back into stock now.
Lots of Pakenham talk. Is it open?
I'll let you know next week.
It is open, but it's open by appointment right at this minute. But it could be fairly soon that it's no longer by appointment.
What is ERP system?
I can never remember what it stands for, but it's basically the back-end system that keeps track of, invoices, stock control, all that sort of stuff.
Thinking emergency response panel.
No, it's enterprise something or other program.
What's similar to what we asked before? What's your favorite upcoming coin or round coming out and mint? If you can't say design.
Yeah, mine's the Germania one. I want to see it in person.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, I haven't seen as much as Michael has, so I'm not sure. I'm like a magpie. There's too many that I like.
Yeah. Drake, we do have an image of that one. Rubes will probably show it off next week.
Can you now say what series in the 1 ounce is finished? I'm guessing in reference to Perth Mint canning some...
I'm not going to. I'm going to say that for Neil.
Yeah, Neil can say that when the video releases.
Yeah, so you'll see that within a week or so.
Any unboxings to look forward to next week?
Lots of unboxings to look forward to next week.
We'll see if we get any out. That's it. We haven't had a single video out since your stream last week. It's been...
Seriously?
Yes, seriously.
What have we been doing?
Serving in the shop. What do you think the odds of an Aussie Big Bank 4 offering a digital gold product in its app are, and do you think it will be a good or bad thing for the stacking community?
Any advertising is good advertising, so I'd say it's good for the stacking community, and it would be good to see one of the mainstream banks actually offer that sort of product. I think it would be a very big positive. What are the chances of it happening? One of the things we were going to discuss today was Vietnam and the fact that they're actually steering everyone away from gold. And I can see that becoming the trend. So I don't actually think there's a very big chance.
And some inside goss from some of our Vietnamese customers that I spoke with this week. But we'll cover that next week.
When do the Perth Mint Lunar silver horses come in?
Some have already arrived. 1 ounces are here. And they're just steadily coming through the gates now.
Yeah, and the variations come in over the next several months.
I was going to say, it was Chezzy's answer. Will there be variations, antique, high relief, etc. coming through?
Yeah, they release them gradually though.
Will Michael be organising a tour of Germania Mint?
I reckon we could do that for anyone who happens to be in Poland at the time we're over there.
We've got the enterprise resource planning there for your ERP.
Thank you.
And do you have the Star Wars Death Star in silver?
Isn't that thing over there?
Oh, no, you know what? It started to become like a leaning tower of Pisa. I'm not going to touch it, but yes, it's over there.
And that's thank you to Aaron provided that one.
And that is the end of our list there. We made it to the end. There was something we were going to potentially announce for next week's stream. There was talk of it maybe not being done here.
Yeah,
Yes.
next week's stream will be done
In?
out
Out of
of Pakenham.
Pakenham.
So we're going to go back to the future, I think we're going to call it, because we're going to shoot it in the shop like we used to in the good old days, but it's a different
Yeah.
shop. It's a future
Yeah.
shop.
And so I was just actually going to do a thanks, but I saw a comment in there from Peter Vick. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for... So it came
Hey!
in. I've already bagged this one, and I was going to give this to Michael, but Oscar lost his mind when he saw this. He said, "Oh, who's this guy? Can I have lunch?" But then he said he wanted to keep it in the store so people can flick through it. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
The other thing I wanted to mention is someone asked early in the comments, but I mean, so many comments fly and we just miss a lot. Have you seen the Lunar Year of the Horse 2026 from France?
Actually, I don't think I have.
I haven't until just now.
It's only half a horse.
Well, you just ruined it.
Does
for
the
me.
other half come out in June, does it?
Look it up for yourself. See what you think. The reverse with half a horse now has been ruined for me by Michael. The obverse looks fantastic. It looks really cool. I'm not sure who mentioned that. That was quite early in the stream, but yeah, it looks very cool.
Alrighty, I think we need to wrap it up there because we could keep going all day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Ruben and Alex for putting up with me hacking and coughing in the background with my asthma and all the prep that goes into it. And believe it or not, it's actually a bit of a strain to do these things. It's pretty exhausting, isn't it?
Not after being 2 weeks in the shop like I have. This is like,
I want to know if it's more.
It is like,
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the relaxing part of the week. I want to know if it's more or less relaxing for you compared to last week, having to sit there and do it solo.
Well, it's a different stress. Like that was pretty full on, particularly as I was like 15 minutes beforehand. I was in an area that got no signal at all, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have to hurry, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do this. So because I'd already committed to it, I'd sent out a short that said, hey, we're doing this at 2:30. So oops. But yeah, as I said, thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in, whether it's live now or whether it's later on in life. You guys are the ones that actually make this thing work. So we very, very much appreciate your time that you take out to listen to this and to participate or not participate, whichever you choose to do. It's fantastic. We will be back next week to cause the usual chaos that we cause. There will be all sorts of fun and games and shenanigans happening in the stores and also on stream if Ruben and I get organised and get some releases out there. There will be some more unboxings. There will be more things revealed. And it will generally be a fantastic week next week.
See you from Pakenham next week.
Sounds
Absolutely.
great. See ya.
Have a great weekend.